Hello friends, today is a special day. Today marks my 4-year painting anniversary. As we look back to some of my first paintings, to some of my most recent, I just look back and I thank you for all your support along the way. It does not go unnoticed. But talking only does so much. So, I'm going to quit doing that. We're going to head on over to the easel, and tonight we're going to celebrate. Tonight we will paint. For the first time in over 2 years, I'll be live behind the camera. Let's get it started. Hello everybody. How are we doing tonight? You can't really see me and I can't really see you, but I know we're both, trust me, I'm here, don't worry. So tonight is my 4-year painting anniversary, and we're gonna celebrate it by doing a nice little painting together. So why don't you sit back, relax, and just watch me paint. So tonight I'm gonna do something with probably some pinks and some purples, as well as just some mountains, some greenery, kind of just the things I love on canvas. It's called a liquid first coat on the canvas. Pretty much just gets the canvas wet, gets it slick, just allows us to kind of blend color on the canvas rather than having to work ourselves to death on the palette. And I'll just show you my palette here real quick. I got a decent variety of colors, got a good variety of brushes sitting over here ready. So I'd say we should get started. And if you have any questions, comments, just want to make conversation or whatever, feel free just to send it right in the live chat, because I'm here to answer any question you have. Don't fret, just answer a question away. So I'm going to start off here. I got a little bit of a 1-inch brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of a Alizarin Crimson. Alizarin Crimson is just kind of it's a nice pinky color, just kind of pretty vibrant, so it'll make this sky just look like it's on fire. So we're just going to start off here, just putting a little bit of it, we're just mainly working right through the middle of it right now. Just and I'm using kind of overlapping extras, kind of almost making like a figure of 8 with the brush to put this color in. So just got to go back and reload it every once in a while and just put a little bit more on there, because the liquid white is constantly working against the color, and that is what is allowing us to blend color right here on the canvas rather than having to try to get this color to blend nicely on the palette. So we're just going to just kind of blend this in. I want this to be a fairly solid color, not too much movement in it. It's kind of I'm thinking this painting's likely going to be kind of a nice, almost like peaceful morning, per se. Nothing too like vibrant, late in the day, that sort of stuff. So just a little bit kind of throughout here. And the color's probably not picking up quite as well on your end, but this is it's a vibrant color, but I'm making it muted, so. Yeah, so I think we need some water in this. So now for the water, I'm just going to go just kind of straight across, back and forth. Because water, it always lays flat. So that's why we just go straight across, back and forth. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to take, I'll teach you a little trick of the trade here. So I don't really use paper towels per se. I actually use these blue shop towels for one reason. They don't have lint. So if you've ever really scrubbed something with a paper towel, you'll notice it kind of just gets lint everywhere. And especially if, say, I want to wipe off the canvas, sometimes I'll literally just grab a shop towel and say, oh, there's too much pink down here. I'll wipe that off. And you can see it doesn't leave any of the color on the canvas. Or any of the lint on the canvas, excuse me. Sorry about that. So we got kind of a nice solid color there. Gonna wipe it off really nice, and then we're gonna go into a little bit of cobalt violet. Just a little bit. We're gonna see how this color looks. I haven't used this color in probably months, so that's an interesting color. Kind of a nice purple. It's a very, not necessarily pastel-y look I'm going for here, but kind of just a peaceful spring day almost. So I'm going to reload the brush, and every time I reload the brush, I'm going to go to a corner, because the corners are always what is darkest. And then just kind of blend that right up to the old purple. Just putting some nice purple in. This purple is a pretty weak color, so we have to put a decent amount of it on the canvas for it to do much, but it's a beautiful weak color, so. Yeah. So, and then same little drill here. I said we're having water in this painting, so we're just going to put a little bit, kind of going straight across to form that water. Because water always lays flat. So we just want it to be nice and still. And I know I said this earlier, but if anybody's new, tune it in. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to just send them in the chat. Because you might not be able to see my face, but you can hear my voice. So go ahead and just ask away. I'm always more than happy to answer questions. Granted, I do like asking them too, but yeah. So now I'm actually going to grab another purple. This time I don't even have it on my palette right now. I need to change it. I'm going to use dioxide purple. It's kind of a more deeper purple. The purple I just used there is kind of a little bit more to the red side. This purple is a little bit more to the blue side, I'd say. And since it's a little bit darker, we're going to have to go around the edges, because when we do it around the edges, that helps draw our eye in. So we're just going to come up here kind of in the corners and just right along the top and just fire it in right there. Same thing, just like last time, anytime you reload your brush, just start at the opposite corner and work it in. Now, I'm not trying to swallow all that purple I already had on there, just trying to kind of add some depth to it. Because if your edges are darker, it'll really kind of pull your eyes into the painting. You might not notice it, but it's one of those where you don't really notice it until I point it out, and then it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, now I'm going to take, that's our rough sky in there. So we're just going to take, it's a clean, dry 2-inch brush. I'm going to make sure it's clean and dry. Just kind of wipe it out on a towel a little bit here. Then we're just going to kind of using them crisscross strokes again. I'm starting down here in the purple, in the pink, excuse me, and we're just going to kind of work our way up. And you really just want it to be so you can't tell where one color stops and another color starts. So maybe and you'll notice here how the corners are still a little bit darker. And that's really what we want. Then I'm going to do the same thing in the water. Just kind of go straight across it, nothing too much. The water, you're probably not going to end up seeing a lot of it when this painting's over, because knowing me, I'll probably just put a bunch of bushes or something, around it. But yeah, okay, I think that's a pretty nice kind of blue, purple, pink sky. So now what we're going to do is the sky's looking pretty bare. So I think we're going to need to put some clouds in it. Clouds are probably one of, if not my favorite thing to paint. So you get to watch me paint some here. So what we're going to do is, I got a little mini fan brush here. This one's about the smallest one I have. It's small, but it makes some pretty good clouds. It always gets the job done good. So I'm just going to go a little bit through the white, kind of back and forth. I'm loading both sides. You can't see me, but just trust me, I'm doing what I'm telling you. And then I'm actually gonna add a little bit. Here, I guess I can pick this up and show you real quick. I'm just adding a little bit of the permanent red to it, because you never see pure white in nature. So that's why I make this a little bit off-white. Now it's not like a blazing hot pink, but it's another one of those things you don't notice it unless I tell you it's there. So then I'm going to use just the corner of the brush, and I'm just going to make little circles and just kind of put in just a bunch of little shapes. Just a bunch of little circular shapes. And I'm just using the corner of the brush, and as that runs out of paint, just flip it over, and I use the other side. So, I think that's a nice little cloud. Let's make another, because it's so much fun. So I'm keeping the brush moving as I'm doing this. I'm not trying to just make one big kind of cotton ball. I'm keeping it moving. Your wrist should start hurting when you're done with this. That's why anytime if an artist ever tells you it's in the wrist, they're right. Because that's where all the technique comes from. So then we're just gonna, maybe there's another one over here. See, a lot of these are gonna get covered up by the mountains I'm gonna have probably, so we can just it's good practice. But I wanna put one in that top corner, so let's do it. Because I'm feeling like this guy's a little bit too symmetrical. So maybe there's just a little guy like, oh, hey, this is kind of the third wheel here, like, oh, hey, you guys are clouding it up out here? Oh, I'm going to sneak in here. There you go. It's a nice, cute little cloud. Nice and lovely. Okay. So now, I'm going to grab that same little 1-inch brush I had, and we're going to do what is probably my least favorite, but I would say it's my favorite step. Just wipe the brush out a little bit. Because I'm pretty lazy, so I like to try to use as few brushes as possible when I'm painting. Just because the less I have to clean, the less time it takes. And I'm usually pretty short for time, so yeah. So I got that brush relatively clean, and I'm just going to kind of swirl in. I'm doing little circles down here at the base. Because now, as I always say, right now, it looks like the cloud is on the sky. Now, when we're blending this in, we're putting it in the sky. That's kind of what I always use to explain what I'm doing. So, just kind of some little circles. Just blending them in right nicely. I don't want to touch the top edge when I'm doing this, though, because that's what leads to all types of problems. And we just want to have a nice little easygoing painting here. We don't need any problems. Okay. Just going to blend that a touch more with my big brush. And then we're just going to go over these really lightly. These are what kind of make the clouds almost look windblown. Okay, I think that's probably our sky just about done. Alrighty, so now the real question is, and I'm going to ask you guys, should I do one big mountain or a little one and then a little bit bigger one? What should I do? I need some opinion. Usually I'm just by myself, but now that I have people, I'm going to ask for some opinion. Should I do one mountain or two mountains? Or I guess one big one, so it's still going to be taking up about the same amount of space. And here's a little fun fact about me. If you didn't know it about me, I absolutely love painting mountains. So that sums up my love of mountains. They're just fun to paint. I've just always enjoyed them, and as you saw maybe in the intro of my first ever painting, that was also a mountain. So that's where I started, and that's where I'm still going over 4 years later. So, okay. Somebody thinks we should do 2 smaller mountains. Anybody else? Do we do 2 smaller mountains? Probably one over here, or kind of one bigger one? I'm going to be starting them here in just a second. So I'm going to get my color mixed up while you guys decide. So for this mountain, I'm going to be using, I call it pretty much fancy black because I'm going to, here, I guess I can try to show you guys here. Okay, I got my palette. Okay, we're going to be using black, Payne's gray, Prussian blue, a little bit of alizarin crimson, and a little bit of the brown. Then we're just going to pick those up, turn them over, kind of just mix them together. Okay, just kind of, and the color is going to almost just pretty much just look black on my palette, but it's going to have all the hidden colors in it, and we won't notice that right away, but when we do, it'll be nice. So, well, I'm going to make an executive decision here. We're going to do 2 smaller mountains. So we're going to start off with this first one. We're going to take a little bit of our dark color, put it to the side, and we're going to mix it with some white. Because the further back things are in a landscape, the lighter colored they are. But first, we're gonna scrape out where our mountain is. Because removing all the extra paint will make it easier for us. So, we're gonna do, I think, I'm gonna change it up. Usually I put my little mountain on the right side, but this time I'm gonna put it on the left side. So, it's gonna be a little one. You're probably not gonna really be able to see what I'm doing. I know you're probably not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So, I'm going to grab a little handy tool I got. It's pretty much an eraser. It's kind of a piece of rubber on a stick, and it's pretty much, you can just scrape through the paint. Watch this. Like, now you can see it. Now you can see it. And this is just helping us get rid of that extra paint, because the less paint that we have on there, the easier our mountains will stick. So when I kind of use this to scrape out the rough shape. Now this is where you got to be careful, because this is where the mountains can really get away from you and get a lot bigger. So I scrape out the rough shape, and then I just kind of come in here with a shop towel, and I just scrub right into it, kind of getting rid of all that extra paint. This is why I want the shop towel, because this isn't leaving any lint on the canvas. If I was using paper towels, it'd be lint city. It'd be like opening the lint trap on a dryer. It would be everywhere. Okay. So now what we get to do is we get to grab our old palette knife, grab just a little bit of that light gray color, and we can come up here and just kind of fill in our outline almost. We got our rough shape. We don't have to stick to it, but we are perfect. Just putting that in right there. We're really only focused about the top edge right now. We don't need much more. Okay, now we're going to take that same 1-inch brush that we had, and watch this. I can move mountains like that. You can just pull that paint. Just pull it. Come from this other side, and just pull it. And I don't want my mountain being much bigger than that, because I want to put some stuff here in the foreground. So, but this is the smaller of the 2 mountains, though. Don't worry. It's only bigger from here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna just wipe that brush out really quick, just to. Okay. So, sorry about this, guys. Okay. So, we're just going to come up here to the canvas. Highlights on this back mountain. A few, very lightly. Let's see.